Girls of Reddit, what is something that guys may consider nice but is actually creepy to you? Coming into your workplace when you work in the service industry and act like they are the only customer that exists and they just keep talking. I have spent so much time waiting in checkout lines behind older men who are just so pleased to have the captive audience of a young female cashier that they forget that people are in line behind them. It's always so uncomfortable, and I want to yell she's only tolerating you because she's at work. I don't know any girls that actually like the I could be with all these other girls, but I couldn't stop thinking about you line. Telling you how perfect and amazing you are excessively after you just met. Also, talking about how nice they are. I had a guy on a first date who just started massaging my back, which if he had asked, I would never say no to, but he didn't ask. Anyways, his was too hard and rough and hurt a ton. So I asked him to either stop or lighten the pressure and he got offended because he was only trying to be nice. I was nice to you. You owe me now. Hahaha. A stranger I just met offering to walk me home because it's not safe to walk home alone. There's no nice way to say, but you could be a rapist. Plus, now I know you know I'm walking home alone and you could follow me. Went on a date last week with a guy who kept telling me he had a working with children check and a gun license. In Australia this isn't something most people have. He insisted that made him the safest guy in Australia. I suppose he was trying to make me feel comfortable, and if he had said it once it might have been a little weird and not creepy, but he said it multiple times. It felt like he was trying to get me to let my guard down. Throw in the fact that he kept talking about his big family farm that backs onto a national park and that he could take care of my horrible ex and no one would find the body. I was more than a little creeped out. Suffice to say I won't be seeing him again. I have passed a background check of my criminal history, so obviously I can't be violent. I also know 100% I can get away with murder. Nothing to worry about there then. This one guy sent me a video of him doing kinky stuff with other people. He thought it would be a turn on for me and make me want him. I thought it was a weird thing to do, especially because he and I had just met and were not dating. I will say this, girls do not care for the I know all about you type, believe it or not. Some people just like knowing who they are and are one step at a time. Any one man who claims he knows all about women does not know all about women. Gotta watch those who think they know everything. They're almost always wrong about that. Following me to my car house next class when I say I'm fine. You may think it's protective of me, but I said no and you might actually be what I'm trying to get away from. I had an aged relative who used to tell the story of how her husband, then of some 50 years, had first asked her out over the phone. She was a telephone operator, and then continued to call back and ask to speak with her, so he could ask her on a date, over and over again for months until she agreed to go out with him. He then asked her to marry him, and was rejected, some 7 or 8 times before she agreed. I've never heard this story and thought AWW, that's sweet. On the contrary, it always felt weird, pathetic and stalkerish, and left me wondering whether social norms had changed, or if my relative had just developed Stockholm syndrome over the years. I always get weirded out when I hear couples say they got engaged in less than a couple months of dating. I work with 2 women who did that. One woman's husband proposed on either the first or second date. I could never agree to that or find that attractive no matter how much chemistry I had with the person. Calling me after a rapid fire of excessive texts that I don't answer. I don't know if this qualifies as nice, but twice I've been at work with my phone away and when I've come back to it have a slew of texts asking where I am, what am I doing, am I okay, followed by a phone call. Dang son, I'm working, chill out. Those screenshots in our cringe epics where the slew of texts ends in a missed call. Those are the freaking best. Getting honked at stopping your car to talk to me while I'm out running. Also telling me I'm too pretty to have a boyfriend when I'm out with friends. What the frick does that even mean? Repeatedly insisting on helping us with something, like carrying our stuff or whatever, when we've already said no thank you. It's patronizing and also feels like an attempt to make us feel indebted. It drives me crazy when they just take something out of your hands after you've already said you don't need help. Like, if I wanted your help, I would have accepted it, so stop. Dang. The more I read this thread, I'm realizing my advances seem to be really classy and mellow in comparison. I would die if I tried some of these things. Yeah, I DK how these guys do it without hating themselves. I hated myself for other dumb things I did. Physically picking me up without notice. I'm lucky, being taller than average and heavier than I look, so it doesn't happen a ton to me, but I've known a lot of short, petite women that deal with this on the regular. Catcalling. I don't care if think you're complimenting me. If you really cared about complimenting me, you would approach me like a normal person and say something, not yell about how long my legs are from across the street. I work part-time at a restaurant that's huge for delivery orders. The amount of guys who ask me out over the phone is extremely uncomfortable. I'm not flirting. I'm just being polite and trying to get your order. Guys will frequently say stuff like, "I'm sorry but you just have a sexy pretty voice and I wanted to let you know." It's inappropriate and so unnecessary. I have to ask for their phone number so the delivery driver can call them, and they'll say stuff like, "Only if I can get yours," or "You have my address. You should stop by after work. When do you get off? What the frick, you have no idea what I look like. I could be ugly as heck." My least favorite is when I ask anything else I can help you with and they reply, "Depends. Can you be delivered with the pizza?" Whenever I get upset or don't respond well to these remarks, they always insist they're just trying to be nice. Just don't say a word. "Only if I can get yours," and you just go dead silent. Let them frizzle themselves. They'll feel awkward in their own responses when you haven't said anything. When they ask if you're still there, just respond that you're still waiting for their phone number. A guy I work with that's close to my dad's age constantly talks about how I look like his wife did when she was younger, but that she's not pretty like me anymore. I find it super odd. Also, I'm a super untouchy person with people I work with, especially the men. The same guy forced me into a hug. He's at least twice my size and wouldn't let me go because insert other female co-worker's name here. Lets me hug her, so why don't you? And then later called me a B because I told him to let me go. That guy is a super creep. Asking why I'm not smiling and telling me to be happy. Maybe I'm fine and relaxed and enjoying myself and just don't feel like smiling. Maybe it's none of your goddamn business either way. I was operating a camera at a concert recently, right at the edge of the stage. The singer actually stopped his show to come over and ask me why I wasn't smiling. I'm working, you old prick. I'm not here to entertain you, nor am I here to be entertained by you. I'm here to make money and go home. So leave me out of your show and let me focus on my job. Randomly adding me on Facebook and trying to develop a friendship, maybe more, and then not getting the hint that I prefer making friends outside of Facebook and keep texting me. Honestly, it is not cool or modern. I find it rather disturbing when I receive random friend requests from people I haven't even one common friend with. Giving too many physical compliments compared to non-physical compliments. For example, hobbies, personality, job. There should be a balance of the two. Otherwise it feels like all you like about or want from me is my body. And using pet names. For example, cutie, baby, before we're actually dating. I find it so cheesy and gross. Constantly asking me if I'm okay and you can tell me anything. I share several classes with a male friend and we live in the same dorm building as well. I'm usually pretty talkative, but some days I just don't feel like socializing. There's been a couple days where said friend kept asking me what's wrong, that I can tell him anything, and that he will always be there for me. Once, fine, I appreciate it, but he asked 12 times in a 50-minute class, followed by texting me all day with same questions. I know something was wrong. Just tell me. And even coming down to my floor to knock on my door and ask me again. I felt very oppressed. I appreciate people asking me what's wrong, but if I specifically say just don't feel like talking today, you know you need to back off. Sending you multiple messages on Facebook over a span of time saying hey hi what's up you're beautiful hey hello what's up, and going on for months when you haven't replied to him a single time ever. In a movie when the girl clearly does not want to be touched and the guy keeps hugging kissing her anyways until she calms down. Or when the girl is angry at something and the guy kisses her to shut her up, and she falls helplessly into his embrace. If I'm angry, it's for a reason. Do not try to kiss me, especially if it's you I'm angry at. Either help me work through the anger, or leave me alone to do it myself. Touching my hair. I get it, I have hair like that girl from Brave. It's pretty awesome. It's also tangly as frick and you will get caught in it. Also, why the frick are you touching me without permission? I'm a guy, but I had a creepy experience once as an older dude hit on my girlfriend at the time. We were at a friend's house and he had a bunch of state troopers as friends. One of the troopers was a total douchebag. At first he just casually mentioned that I had done good and if he were in my shoes he would feel pretty fortunate. Well, that turned into him slobbering all over himself, drunk, laughing like a madman, and every sentence he said got creepier and creepier. Like that jelly bean from Rick and Morty. Man, if I was in your shoes, haha, or sips up drool. He was openly getting more aggressive as the night went on. He kept saying partial sentences, then biting his lip as if to keep himself from saying something. The things I would do. I wanted to freaking shoot him. Creepy butt son of a bee. Honest to God, if you're anything like that man, I want you to know you disgust me to my core and you freaking ruined the game for everyone else. Wound up calling him out for being a sicko and left early. Man, if I was in your shoes, haha, or sips up drool. Sorry, I know it was a terrible experience, but this part cracked me up. I could literally see the guy saying this. A couple guys I work with, at a fast-paced retail job, have just spontaneously come up to me and started massaging my shoulders. I hate it. They don't even ask. I really can't stand men who make compliments by belittling other people. Also, when they don't get the hint that having my earphones and doesn't mean please try to strike up a conversation. The amount of times I've had to tell people to stop yelling out of my car window to girl on the street is pretty sad. You look like a fool trying to impress anybody hanging out the side of an inn. I don't understand what anyone tries to gain in that moment. Don't want no scrubs. Both of my serious boyfriends have been guitarists, but I hate being serenaded. It makes me want to die. Please stop. I don't know what to do, or say, or where to look. I play guitar. I dated girls who wanted me to play for them. It always made me feel weird. Offering to pay for everything if we're not dating. So creepy. I went on a 2-day field trip with an ecology class and this one guy literally offered to pay for everything for me. I told him I couldn't accept him paying for anything and he just winked and said it's okay. You can owe me. No thanks. Even in a relationship I like paying for dates, meals, other stuff to be equitable. Giving me gifts regularly. It feels like you're trying to bribe me into a friendship or relationship, and I don't like that feeling at all. But it works in The Sims : agreeing with everything I say. I have a male friend who does this, never disagrees with me, never brings up any controversial topics, always expresses interest in what I express interest in even if I know he doesn't like it, never talks about his hobbies, and basically matches himself to me in every way he can. I know he thinks he's relating to me and trying to make sure I like him, but it comes off as a fuckboy move. Oh, I want to stay in your good graces so you'll let me hit that. And I'm so insecure in myself that I feel like I need to conform myself to this girl so she'll like me. It's very creepy. Not to the going to wear your skin as a suit point of creepy, but the I'm secretly stalking you and copying what you do point of creepy. Not exactly creepy, but a lot of guys are convinced that telling a girl that she doesn't need all that makeup is one of the nicest things you can say to a girl. Don't get me wrong. It can be super nice for girls who genuinely think they need makeup or won't go out in public without it. But if a girl is wearing really dark makeup or makeup that is obviously not very natural, we're probably not wearing it because we feel self-conscious without it. Makeup is an artistic outlet for a lot of women, and personally, it's the one thing I do in the mornings a few days a week that is really fun for me, and it's frustrating when guys can't see it as anything more than a girl trying to look prettier. Believe me, I know I probably look more conventionally attractive without bright purple eyeshadow, but I don't really care because it's so fun to put on. Also, correct me if I'm wrong, male, but if I spent a long time applying makeup, it wouldn't exactly make my day for somebody to tell me they don't like it. Coming up to me randomly at the gym to compliment my workout. First of all, I'm trying to work out and I don't want to talk. Second of all, what am I supposed to say? Thanks. Since you're the gym overlord and king of exercise, your compliment is really meaningful. I know the guys are trying to be nice, but it's creepy. I hate this. I try to have a mean look on my face at the gym because I don't want to talk to anyone at all. If you see a girl hug someone she knows, do not pull the "don't I get a hug" card. If she wanted to hug you, she doesn't anymore after that crap. When guys talk about how much they love eating girls out, and then when I say that I don't enjoy receiving oral sex, they tell me that I just haven't been with someone that knew what they were doing. I'm pretty sure I know what I like and what I don't like, and what I like is to give pleasure and not to receive it. When guys try to compliment me by putting other girls down, like, "Oh, you're so much prettier than X," or "You're not like other girls, you're actually funny, cool, chill, whatever." Hello, women are people. We aren't made to be compared to one another just to see how we stack up in your liking. I dislike expensive presents way too early in the relationship. Giving me flowers or something small like a paperback or something you thought I would like is fine and very sweet. But I had a guy who, less than a month into the relationship, bought me very expensive jewelry. I didn't want it, but also did not want to look ungrateful towards such an expensive item. It was very uncomfortable, and soon after he started pressuring me to get physical. I felt like I was being bought. Married men sharing they haven't slept with their wife in a very long time. Sorry, not helping you out because she's not putting out. Playfully taking something. Tickling without consent. I once had a guy drive me home from school like 2 years ago, and he took my phone when we were in my driveway and wouldn't let me have it back for a while. He wouldn't let me out of the car either. He grabbed my thigh wrists and kept pulling me back, trying to hug and tickle me despite me screaming at him to stop. Apparently it wasn't that big of a deal because I was laughing. But I was only laughing because he was tickling me. I was crying too. How does one not understand when too much is too much? I haven't said anything more to him than polite conversation since. Real creep. As a guy, I find it reassuring that I haven't committed any of these. Then again, I guess I need to leave the house for any social contact. Comparing how much better you are to their ex because you like blank. I had a guy who did this on everything. I told him that I liked his beard, and he'd go on a big rant about how his ex-wife hated it. I told him that I loved eating chicken quesadillas, and he proceeded to tell me that she thought they were absolutely disgusting. It almost became a game to see what he'd try telling me she hated. Eventually, it wound up with him telling me she hated baby elephants, and that's when I called him out on it. Setting their social media messaging programs to alert them even people log on just so they can message you the very second you log on. Every time you log on. Dude, I just started my computer from hibernation. I haven't even typed in my goddamn password yet. Chill the frick out. Ordering my food for me at a restaurant. Maybe some people are into it or find it charming, but it seems so weirdly controlling to me. The feeling that creeps me out the most is walking by a construction site or something like that, and literally speed walking by with my head down trying to avoid any eye contact and I still get catcalled. Or walking down the street and I happen to look up and see the creepy guys in a truck completely turned around on the passenger's side staring at me and smiling. No matter how hard I try to convey their body language or even verbally that I'm just minding my own business and to please leave me alone, apparently it's too hard to do that. 2 friends of mine were dating. I was hanging out with the guy and some other friends while the girl was elsewhere. He took a long look at my chest, scratched his beard, and informed me that my breasts were the perfect size. Not too big, not too small. It was out of the blue. So fellas, if you're going to compliment a girl on her appearance, don't turn it into a boob contest against your average girlfriend. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.